right, what's up, everybody? Hey, spooky friends, welcome to our Halloween episode. Yes, it's just me, your wonderful host, Zach. But we decided to, at least I did, dress up today because it's our Halloween episode. This is what, October 26th? Yes, October 26th. It's been a long month for us. And I'm in my character, something I created last Halloween. It's Sir Jack, and this is Little Jack over here to my right. And we're part of an English rock band on our second farewell tour this year. And then, of course, as always, returning is my executive producer, Joe, or should I say Calvin? I'm not sure.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, but I lost a little bit of weight ever since I got off that all elk diet. Yeah, that I was on. So
did you bring any bath salts today, Joe?
No ketamine, no bath salts. I'm actually sober now too. So.
I'm pretty sure Little Jack has got some.
Yeah, probably.
So we'll ask him for that.
But yeah, happy Halloween.
It's not really Halloween, but what's the point of doing a Halloween episode after Halloween? That's no, that's not kosher. So we decided to do it early. It's going to be a fun episode for we got to today. It's just us three here. Pumpkin guest. He'll have a lot to say, I think, today. So we should definitely ask him.
He's going to talk so much that we took away his mic.
Probably be an actual thing. Don't forget, we are starting with the shout-out swear jar. Also, fun fact swear jar for any time we or even Little Jack say shout out or fun fact, we have to put $1 in there.
It's like Texas A&M has the 12th man. We have the fourth guest.
Fourth guest is that shout out swear jar, just taking our money from us like the government. So it's going to be a fun episode. So let's kick it off.
Well, we got a couple of actual legal shout outs we have to make first.
Dude, I don't know these, so
shout out obviously to one of our sponsors.
Oh, of course.
Back Pocket Recording Studios. They're out here in Plant City, Florida. If you guys ever have any albums you want to record, that disco jazz album that you got sitting on your desk, they'll record it for you and they'll mix it. They'll do it perfectly. You got a podcast.
They're actually producing Sir Jack's band's new final tour album.
The live album, or
it's going to be recorded live.
Okay.
At Wild Greg's.
At Wild Greg's.
So that's going to be a fun time.
Awesome. Yeah. So obviously we're going to talk all things Halloween. So kick it off, Zach.
Little nostalgic episode.
Yeah, exactly. So Zach, what was your first Halloween costume that you can remember?
I couldn't remember the very first. I can tell you the last time I wore a store-bought costume, and I was approximately 3 years old, and my mother dressed me up as Franklin the Turtle. I'm pretty sure I have this picture, so if I do, I'll put it up on screen. Yeah.
Franklin the
Turtle. And after that, I just always made my costumes. And
what was the first one that you made that was like homemade?
Yeah, it gets a little muddy there, as my memory is not as good as it used to be. But I believe it was something as simple as just a black little robe, and like vampire teeth and very highly detailed special effects makeup.
So I found a picture of when I was a baby as Humpty Dumpty.
Oh my God.
Before I was even the age of 1. So that would have been
adorable.
My first costume. Picture on screen.
Well, I can say this because this is my one legal fun fact of the day. Actually, I'll save that for the end of the episode because it is a pretty cool fun fact.
Okay.
So remind me about that.
All right. But yeah, so my first, as still a baby, as you guys could tell, I don't even think I was a year old, was a little Humpty Dumpty. I think that's my grandfather's hand pointing me out there. But store-bought, or like getting further, I think, obviously you had to do Power Rangers. I think it was a Power Ranger a couple years. And then like your Spirit Halloween, like bog zombie stuff. My absolute favorite one I remember when I was a kid, it was an all-black cloak and my face was covered, but I had 2 light-up red eyes.
Oh, yeah. That's
classic. But I loved that costume so much.
One of those characters from Star Wars. My wife would kill me. I should know this. It's the on Tatooine or whatever.
Well, see, I haven't seen Star Wars, but I think I know.
Oh my God!
They just make weird grunt noises and stuff.
It's like
that's exactly what it is.
Little yard sale people.
But then, as I got older, I think we showed or talked about this in my last podcast. I was like the ring girl.
Yeah, there was a picture of that we put up in the last podcast. Is the ring girl?
That's
was funny.
The first homemade one I can think of. My dad ended up doing the special effects makeup. Of course, that's a dress from Goodwill, classic.
Yes.
That's a wig that my mother wore when they did a haunted house. But yeah, we'll throw it back
That's
up on
what
screen.
Halloween is, all about recycling products. And
I think I was probably a little too old to be
this
that.
hair
But
you see is not my actual hair. I didn't grow this out between the last 2 episodes. I know you're probably surprised.
well, it's a wig out of my hair. I got a haircut. So
That's it. No, this actually is recycled from a pirate costume I did a few years ago. So
when did you do that?
actually, I didn't do it for Halloween. I might have dressed up for the premiere of Pirates of the Caribbean 5 as a pirate.
What was that like?
2017.
Nice.
I might have been 26 years old.
Hey, that's understandable.
I'm a big Pirates fan, okay?
So what do you think is his favorite costume you've ever worn?
Now how are we going to categorize that? We're going to categorize that home haunts. We're going to because like home haunt for me started after 2009. So we just up to 2009 or like up to the end of the home haunt.
Just whatever costume, because I guess I kind of already spoiled mine. Whatever costume that you wore, just period, point blank, ever, besides with the exception of Sir Henry.
Yeah, I'm not going to count the home haunt in because I'm pretty sure we already talked about that on the episode. So I'm going to go 2008. I dressed up as a clown.
Well, no. So let's do costume that you wore trick-or-treating. Do you remember?
I didn't go trick-or-treating in that. There's a couple of very, very unique things I went trick-or-treating as a kid. One being one being an undead Civil War general. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm a big history buff. The other, I dressed up as Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, that's classic. Did you wear like the?
I had a
shirt?
little stash, kind of like what yours is now.
Yeah.
But it was like 8th grade or whatever that was, and I had the little wig, and I used to love that movie. I can't even remember
I'm very surprised that you like Napoleon Dynamite because it seems like a movie that you would.
Me, my
absolutely
dad,
despise.
and brother love Napoleon Dynamite.
We
the
love
humor
it too.
is so dry. What is some of his lines in that movie? I can't even remember like now.
Or Pedro's or
Yeah, Pedro.
Oh, I don't remember his. I remember all of Napoleon Dynamite. Who's that actor's name? Josh something.
Cake or something like that. Yeah.
The best one. You think you're drinking 2% milk? Cause
Well, that's Napoleon.
yeah, I know.
But yeah, I went out. So that was a cool costume for Pedro, and there was others in there. And then like I started after Pedro, I started getting into like the slasher things, and I was like Leatherface for 1 year, and it just went all downhill after that. So
I very rarely wore like store-bought stuff except for like I guess like my favorite, like I said earlier, was the light up Star Wars type people. I think we'll find a picture to put up on screen.
We will.
But I never really wore store-bought stuff because like my parents were always doing the home haunt stuff, and they always had costumes laying around, like my dad's Zagoni Studios mask. We talked about that and stuff. So I always had creative, like custom costumes. Like of course Humpty Dumpty. Who do you see?
I would like to see you dress up as Humpty Dumpty now.
I should have. That's smart. That should have
for our cast party coming up.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that I think probably my favorite was that, and then my brother, when they did the home haunt, he wore like one of those bog zombie spirit costumes, and he used to jump out of a hot tub with a snorkel on. I think I wore that when I was about 13 or 14 years old.
That's funny.
But yeah, classic green decaying zombies. But you got any interesting stories from when you were trick or treating at all?
And nothing ever comes to mind. You know, we had my parents' neighborhood is a bigger neighborhood, and like everybody would. There would be a lot of outside trick-or-treaters that would come in and would trick-or-treat in our neighborhood. They brought in, like, trucks with, like, trailers on it and the hay rides, and then you had your golf carts. And
so this is like a whole neighborhood party.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I think it still is. Of course, I haven't been there in 9 years, but I might be back there this Halloween if anybody wants to see the OG Sir Henry house in live action.
Oh.
But no, it was always a big deal. And I remember I have an older brother and sister, and they're a little bit older than me. And I remember when I was younger, they would go off trick-or-treating. And I remember my brother bought this old man mask from Spirit Halloween, Spencer's in the mall, that kind of edgy store.
Yeah.
And I remember going there. My mother took him, and to get it. I remember they had all their like masks on the wall, and at that time it was like very. That was like art. It's not like the cheapy stuff you see at like Party City or even Spirit today, where it's just all, mass produced stuff. This is like one-off custom stuff, and I'll have to see
At
if
Spencer's?
yeah, and of course this is like 1994 or five, and so he would put that mask on. He had like a jumpsuit on. It was very scary, and he used to torture me with that. Like, I'm gonna bring the old man mask out of my closet. I'm gonna get you. I'm like, oh no!
So that's what my dad called his Zagoni Studios. That used to freak me out. He called it his old man mask because I had a top hat and like the jaw moved.
I say it's something about old man just freak kids out or something.
Yeah, dude. He used to like chase me around when I was like hiding underneath the table, and he'd like duck his head out and freak me out.
So that was always cool because I remember him and his like friends like running off trick or treating. I'm like, oh man, I wish I was older.
So I have kind of a sad story.
Oh God, bring it down.
Yeah, right. Sorry, we're having too much fun, but growing up, we never lived in like a neighborhood where like kids would trick or treat.
Yeah.
When I lived, so I was born in Florida. For those who don't, I was born in Florida, moved to Alabama, moved to Illinois, moved to different spot in Illinois, and then back to Florida.
The crazy part is, it's not like your dad was in the army or anything.
Yeah, no. But so we moved from Florida and we moved to Grand Bay, Alabama. If you've heard of that,
Grand Bay or Greenbow?
Yeah, Grand Bay. But middle of nowhere, so of course we didn't have any trick or treaters. We don't have to like outsource neighborhoods where we can go and trick or treat. But
Passing out flyers. Hey, come to our house for some candy.
Yeah.
We got good candy.
Yeah.
Full size candy bars.
Yeah. So we moved to Elwood, Illinois. It's a little itty bitty tiny town. It's like 2,500 people. So I used to have to walk to school. So we were like, man, this is perfect. We're gonna have so many trick or treaters. We're gonna do this big elaborate house set up. And my mom was so excited to finally get trick or treaters. I didn't even go trick-or-treating because I wanted to be there to see the we were so excited for this. So we did this whole like graveyard scene, and like of course you had like the spirit stuff hanging from the trees, and my dad brought out the old classic old man costume and everything like that. And somehow, some way, we got like 2 trick-or-treaters that entire time. So it was kind of disheartening. You're like, man, no one wants to come out here. We did all this work. But
it's kind of like the very first night ever of the trail.
Three
people came out.
But it's like, and those 2 people that were like, man, this is a pretty cool setup. I was like, of course it is. But
that was always. I always have a really fun story.
Yeah,
caught myself. It was close. We're trying to make it a whole episode without putting any money in because we already bought 3 fog machines. A fun story. I used to, and I still do. I have nightmares about setting up for Halloween or whatever, and putting this display on or putting the trail on, and like either it's not finished or trick-or-treaters are coming and it's not done, or we don't have any trick-or-treaters. That was always a terrible, frightening nightmare. But
stressful nightmares are worse than scary nightmares.
Yeah, no, they are.
Because
they are. I wake up stressed out, freaking out. But I realized that, this is actually a good sign. And so every year I have the nightmare, it's a good sign. So
how did you change that to a good omen?
I don't know. I just realized that everything's always going well, so I'm taking this as a good sign.
All right.
So it works. It works.
But yeah, because we were so fresh to that neighborhood, or that town, we didn't realize that on the other side of the school I went to, there was actually like a gated fence neighborhood. That's where everyone went trick or treating. Yeah. So that's where I ended up going that night because no one showed up and get trick or treating. And people, of course, get their little haunted houses set up in the yard and stuff. I remember one. It was set up in his driveway, and you walked in and you just did like an L shape, but there wasn't an exit. You had to walk back the same direction, which was cool because when you walked through, I'm sure it was like his son or somebody. He didn't scare you when you went in the first time, but when you came back out, he would pop out of his little boo hole, and he had like a little vampire in a casket. And stuff
That's
like that.
fun.
But I've always wondered this because you did the home haunt for so long, and now you do the haunt, which is probably even harder on you.
Yeah.
Have you lost the spirit of Halloween within yourself?
Absolutely not.
No?
If anything, it's stronger than ever.
You haven't burnt yourself out yet?
I have not burnt myself out yet, and I don't know why, because there's another holiday that I have burnt myself out at, but I think there's a lot of factors that went into that. But Halloween, there's no burnout. Halloween for me is more fun now than it ever has been, and I think it'll only get more fun now that I have kids.
Oh, yes, that's a good point. But I think now that I can appreciate haunted houses more. Because the other holiday that you're talking about, I can kind of agree with you on there because you can't go out and experience.
Well, okay, so for me, Christmas has always been my favorite holiday, and I don't know if I could say that anymore. But a lot of it, I tie back to two things. Burnout from putting on large Christmas events in the past.
Yep.
With very was not as much appreciation as Halloween. And then the other thing too is that me and my wife are both adults, so it's it's not the same as an adult during Christmas that you are when you're kids. But now that we have kids, I'm sure that's gonna change,
re-elevate itself. Yeah. But what I was going with is like you can't really go out and experience Christmas is the same matter that you can Halloween.
Well, it's different. It's different.
You can always go to like a haunted house and stuff like that.
You can always go to driving around looking at Christmas lights. It's just two different ways the holidays are experienced and the traditions you have with it.
That's true.
So and because I love tradition, I'm a very traditional based person. But no, I'm actually surprised that I haven't experienced any Halloween burnout. But I also have 1,001 ideas for new stuff I want to do. So until I complete and fulfill all those ideas, I don't think I could be burned out.
No, I still, to this day, I love Halloween.
But the thing, too, is like, so when I was doing the home hunt, Halloween night was the end-all night. And that was what everything, I'd look forward to ended at. But now with the trail, it's more or less, okay, opening night, and then boom, Halloween's done for me. I'm in another mindset.
Yeah.
I still celebrate like the whole month, and we have fun, and we go do the haunted houses and whatever, carve pumpkins. But it's
the little things like that, like you're saying, carve pumpkins and stuff like that.
Like Little Jack over
there.
Yeah,
exactly. It keeps the tradition alive, even though we host this big huge event. It's just like the little things. It's like,
instead of a 1-day thing, it's turned into a 10-month thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Even with our off-season events,
we've made Halloween a career more than like a hobby.
I don't hate it.
No,
I don't hate it. Obviously,
but what happened?
No. Go ahead.
Oh, so I don't even lost me.
Ooh, magic tricks.
Oh, what I was gonna say is, like you said that you lost Christmas because now you're an adult or whatever. My family is still pretty big on Christmas, but now that I've gotten with my girlfriend, they don't celebrate Christmas as much, so it's kind of like wearing off on me.
Jehovah's Witness? Or?
No, they just haven't, because I have a huge family, and her family is a lot closer knit. So I used to like my grandparents and cousins and stuff used to come up to our house, and my mom would always get the biggest large Christmas tree that she can get, and we would always host.
That's fun, but this is not
this
Christmas
is a Halloween episode.
Come on now, fact check that.
But what I was going all this to say is like, I can understand Christmas now that
it's a thing.
I think it's just because we focus so much on another holiday that you lose.
No, for me, it's the people.
Well, yeah.
And the burnout of the creating event. But yeah, what else you got?
Is there any, I guess is there any, besides the trail, traditions that you've kind of stuck to each year for Halloween, whether it be on the day or just the season as a whole?
No, yeah. I mean, me and my wife have made traditions for the 7+ years we've been married. We like to watch, one of the traditions we have is Halloween is my all-time favorite Halloween movie, 1978.
Oh,
original.
Okay, yeah.
Not that Rob Zombie BS.
Hey, settle down.
Trash.
Hey.
Trash.
Hey, I like Rob Zombie.
Get on my barstool soapbox and go
one scene. Everyone knows the rules.
But no, so that's like both of our collective all-time favorite Halloween movies. And I love Hocus Pocus and all that stuff, but Halloween for sure because I think it's a masterpiece. But one of our traditions is we'll watch that like a day or so before Halloween and carve pumpkins. It's so cute.
You'll watch Halloween before.
And when I say carve pumpkins, it's really just me carving a pumpkin while she watches. Now sometimes she does carve a pumpkin, but or I think one year I skipped carving a pumpkin. I don't know. But we got kids this year, so I'm sure that'll be a whole thing. But we always like to watch our traditional Halloween movies and all that stuff.
So ours, when I was a kid, it was always, you would watch Halloween Town.
Yeah.
And which is the best Halloween movie of all time. the undisputed Halloween Town on Disney Channel. Shout out.
It's a great movie.
Oh,
I'm
I said shout out.
Hey, I was
Dang
doing
it.
so good,
Dang
and
it.
there
And
you are.
I think that's my
spending
first time
our
ever
money.
do that. Is that? I
think it is.
Might be the first time I ever said shout out. But yeah, or well, besides the very first episode. Anyways, but yeah, I love Halloween Town. We used to watch that all the time, and then now that I'm an adult and have grown up money, I always like to go to Spirit Halloween. That's like my big thing.
Yeah, that is a tradition for us.
Yeah. You haven't been yet?
We haven't been yet. It's the 26th of October.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, but we always got to go to Halloween stores. Call it Halloween hunting. Look for cool vintage masks. I love collecting masks. Starting to get a collection now going, so that's pretty cool.
That's
but,
not creepy.
Yeah, no, they all sit up on a shelf above my door.
Not creepy at all.
But obviously, you always got to watch movies. And down here, there's not a lot. But when I used to live in the Midwest, there was a lot of like fall festivals where you can go and pick your own pumpkins.
Yes.
And,
Yeah, my sister lives in Maryland, and
Yeah.
they have a lot of that.
Yeah, like
and I love that kind of stuff.
yeah, corn mazes.
And you've got a few. You have more of it now than you had like 10 years ago, which is cool to see. But still,
Yeah.
it's very
I'm too busy, anyways. Now,
right. Yeah, I'm struggling to find time for myself the whole month of October. But no, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so obviously your fall festivals and carving pumpkins is top 10. And I have these two now inflatable like ghost. I have a
We
ghost.
should put a picture of your little outdoor display.
Yeah, I
up.
should. Yeah, I got like I'm pretty sure it's just Peanuts. Michael Myers. I almost said Mike.
Peanuts.
Like Peanuts, like the Charlie Brown. That's
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It wasn't branded as that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But yeah, a little bobblehead Mikey is what we call him, and then I have this little ghost with a pumpkin that I bought years and years ago. But yeah, we don't have much, but it's the thought that
We didn't
counts.
have much, but it was something.
Yeah.
No, one of the things I like doing too is obviously I decorate all our inside of our house for Halloween.
Oh yeah, this guy's got a
But
pretty good collection.
I love the little spooky village stuff from Michaels or whatever. So I make an effort to collect a new one each year, and now it's a whole thing. It lights and moves.
Did you get
and
one this year?
sound. Well, technically, I bought them last year at like after Halloween, so I had new stuff for this
get
year. So I'll
preempted.
probably do the same thing this year too.
Yeah, when
but
it's all
that's
on sale.
that's like my favorite thing. I'll set it up the weekend after Labor Day. And look at it for 7 weeks with no shame, probably more. But that's always fun.
We always do ours like right as October comes. We go and set up Mikey, and then you actually gave us last year. I just remember this. I didn't set it up. You gave us this witch, like old witch prop that moved. I think I have a picture of it too. But it used to freak our grandmother out a lot. She, what is that standing out? Because at night, all it had was the eyeballs that lit up. And so it was just like this shadow next to our door with eyes, and it was actually pretty freaky. Next to a little ghost.
Granny's
on the pumpkin.
freaked out again. That
Yeah.
witch is back.
Yeah. What is it? The wicked. The witch is the wicked witch. Anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much all the Halloween episode. But do you our fun fact or trivia of the day here is what? Go ahead.
Is what?
Oh, I was gonna say, do you know the origins of Halloween, the Celtic?
I'm sure we all do about Irish and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
my boy, the Irishman.
The Irishman.
Yes, the
what?
Celtics.
The Robert. What is it? No, not Duvall. Robert De Niro, the Irishman. Hello.
Oh yeah,
come on.
okay. There's more movies that I haven't seen.
We'll start a separate podcast with just movies.
We should do that, and then you make me
Yes.
watch movies and I'll review
Yes,
it.
exactly. Yeah.
What-
I'll tell you where your reviews are wrong.
One movie, everyone knows the rules.
But no, yeah. So I don't know, tell us
Yes,
about the origins of Halloween.
I have the
Calvin.
fun fact.
Or we could just watch the movie The Halloween Tree.
What is that?
Once again, I am left speechless because this guy calls himself an executive producer on a haunted house show and has no idea what an all-time classic Ray Bradbury story is. We're going to tell Amanda about this in the next episode, okay?
Hey, look, I'm not the only one. Our
Halloween Tree?
our live studio audience here.
Okay.
You know?
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
We got one that's heard of it.
You didn't know what it was.
Yeah, will explain.
So basically, Ray Bradbury, cool, very like horror sci-fi author, or whatever, and they adapted a little cartoon movie into it. But basically, this little boy dies on Halloween, and his friends go chasing after his spirit to try and bring him back to life, essentially. and they meet this creepy old man in this creepy old house, and he has like a Halloween tree in his yard, and it's like you got to get it before the pumpkin goes out, kind of thing. It was very cool. But through the movie, while they're chasing this ghost, they go through the origins of Halloween, basically.
Is it an animated movie?
Yes, it's a cartoon. I recommend it. It's a classic.
Well, so every time I recommend Invincible to you, you're like, "Oh, I don't watch cartoons," and then now you're telling me
It's
that.
not that I wouldn't watch it. I ain't got time, man.
That's true.
I ain't got time.
But yeah, so for those who don't know, the modern day origins of Halloween we got from, like we said, the Celtic.
Halloween was invented by the candy companies, Calvin.
Yeah, exactly. Like Valentine's Day, Hallmark. But yeah, so it was an ancient Celtic festival called Samhain, which, cool story, is the name of the CFX mask.
This
that we got.
guy?
Yeah, so the CFX, they named that mask
Which
Samhain.
we got a little bit of a side story after you tell us this, too.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
your fun fact. But yeah, so basically they would, it was the 8th century. They,
Jeez.
yeah, throwback.
Throwback.
But they would light bonfires and just kind of dance around and wearing costumes and stuff to protect like their crops and stuff and to ward the spirits away for the following year, so they would have a good year. I also screenshotted this part right here, which is when the celebration was over, they relit their hearth fires, which they had extinguished earlier that evening from the sacred bonfire to help protect them from the coming winter. Which, the reason I screenshotted that, because it reminded me of the carving story. So I was going to ask you, were you doing research on this to come up with this carving story? Because it sounds very familiar.
No, but I knew that, so subconsciously it was built into.
Okay, because I think that's pretty cool.
But no, it's all tied.
And it's
together.
all
It's on
perfect,
purpose, right?
perfect with the name of the mask and the main character.
But no, I have my fun fact, but you also have a fun story about a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
You took a personal trip and
Yeah, so-
saw our friends over at CFX. Tell us a little bit about
yeah,
that.
so I went to 13th Gate, which is a pretty big independent haunted attraction in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And a couple days before I went, I was like, man, I know CFX is in Baton Rouge. I should, text them and see if I can, take a look around. And they were like, oh, yeah, absolutely. So I went up there and got the tour. Really, really nice facility. I was having terrible allergies, like my nose was running. I felt bad, but for some reason, as soon as I leave my house, I just get punched in the face. But they're really, really cool people. I had a really good time seeing, and we actually had our eyes on a mask that we were going to purchase, and I was like, man, hopefully I get to see it. Saw it in person. Great mask. Be on the lookout for that. But yeah, just really, really cool people. And then, of course, right after that, I went to 13th Gate Escape, which is 13 Gates escape rooms. That was pretty cool. Really, really cool sets. We did a one, it was called The Collector, which was what I thought was like Silence of the Lambs themed. You ended up at the bottom of a well. And then the intro
puts the lotion on the skin.
Yeah, in the intro, it was like what Buffalo Bill was saying to them when they were in the well, but it was in the like dialect of Billy Bob Thornton from Sling Blade.
You put the lotion on the
It was like, you get the lotion on the skin. And I thought that was so funny. It was just like a blend of both stories, which, for those who don't know, Sling Blade is one of my all-time favorite movies. So I was like, man, I picked the perfect...
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I picked the perfect escape room. But straight out of that, literally went across the street, straight into 13th Gate. And man, that was amazing. One of the best haunted houses I've ever been to. Go check it out if you're around Baton Rouge. But yeah, it was really cool.
That's fun.
Yeah, the escape room had a slide.
Nice.
I've never seen that.
Nice.
So that was cool. Sorry, I'm not supposed to spoil it, but yeah.
Well, there goes that. I did not get to go. I had a personal day that day, much needed.
Yeah. So
but
what is your?
Oh, my fun fact. So my birthday is very close to Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Being the 29th of October. I actually came home on Halloween.
Really?
Came home on Halloween. So I guess you could say my first costume was a diaper.
Oh yeah.
And my dad carved a pumpkin, said, "It's a boy," and put it on
really?
top of the mailbox. Real cool. I think I got a picture of that somewhere.
Your parents are pretty into Halloween, which I think is great.
They
just
love
like
it, and I'm sure they have their stories of like especially my mother, her grandmother, doing all these Halloween traditions, and the baking and the costumes and the parties.
Well, your mother actually carved some pumpkins for us.
Yes,
in
if
the
you,
comment.
if you are at our event and you see our brand new little shack in the center, the top pumpkins on the top 3 that have the names of the trails, my mother did carve those.
Which is a wonderful idea.
Yes, I'm not sure where we got that idea from. I probably came up with it. No,
Oh.
Calvin came up with the idea. I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we're gonna put all these pumpkins in the center. Why not? Have the trails?
Occasionally, he does have a good idea.
I do. Every once in a while. Yeah, I have a waterproof notepad in the shower. I don't, but that's a good idea. I should.
No, some of my best
Write that
ideas
down.
come to me in the shower.
We should get some
Or
waterproof.
in that
notepads.
really like in between state where you're like not asleep but you're not awake. I've got some crazy ideas that come to me then.
Yeah, it's just pure.
It's terrifying.
What is
stuff.
that word? Just dread, I guess. But
Don't know.
so yeah, you came home on Halloween. My
Yes.
anniversary is on Halloween, which
Matchmaker.
yeah, which is pretty cool. So we're trying to figure out what we are going to do.
To sum this episode up, we hate Halloween.
Yeah, absolutely the worst season. Flag Day number one.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
But yeah, I think a little bit of a shorter episode, and a little calmer.
Well, it's
episode.
shorter because these guys got to go out to their parties and they got to go trick or treat.
Yeah.
And they got to come out to Sir Henry's Haunted Trail and get your tickets for. We got 2 more weekends left. If you're watching this episode, we got Halloween weekend, which will be this weekend. I believe if I'm correct. There will be a DJ out there on one of the days this weekend. I think a Saturday.
Yeah,
it's
my
going to be
boy.
packed. It's already been packed.
Yeah.
So please get your tickets in advance. If you don't get them and it's sold out, sorry, you're SOL. But don't worry, there's more because the 4th and 5th of November, we will also be open. It's not crazy busy that weekend, but it's a great time for all of those of you who might be working at other places that are seasonal events, the other haunts, the other theme parks. It's a great time to come relax, hang out, have fun with us, and see what we have to offer during our regular October event, because a lot of you get to come and see us for Valentine's and Christmas, but not our October. When October is our bread and butter, we break out all the stops.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking
so-
of that, we doing anything like that? Yeah.
What night?
No, no. Other seasonal events. I didn't know if
Oh,
you wanted to
other
talk about it.
seasonal events. As we wind down the haunt season, and as we close Halloween for another year, we will also take a brief hiatus in a week or two to recap, regroup everything. But we will also be then coming back and announcing what our plans for our seasonal events will be, such as Christmas and Valentine's Day. So that will be coming soon. No official announcement as of yet, but please stay tuned for that, as it'll be coming soon.
All right.
So yeah,
Cool. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, a little casual episode. Just me and Sir Jack over here.
and Little Jack,
Little
and
Jack.
Joe, and all one big happy
Joe,
family.
what did I say? Joe Schmo Rogan.
And now we're gonna go get some bath salts or something.
Yeah. Why do you keep saying that?
I don't know. It's in my head.
I think it's,
Where's Josh?
He does. Acid is his thing. Or no. It's no. What is it?
We also don't condone the use of any
What
of
does
this
he
stuff.
do?
So please, at home,
Yeah.
don't do this. We're just having fun.
What is it called? It's like people like changes people's
Smarties?
No, D starts with a D. What is it called? And it's an acronym. He always DMT. Have you tried DMT?
You've already asked your audience once. That you can't use your second one.
But yeah, he always asks guys, have you tried DMT?
Is that like MSG?
DMT is apparently like life changing, either good or bad. But he always talks about it.
On that note, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you have a happy Halloween night and weekend. Come out and check us out if you already haven't. So we will see
be
you
safe.
next week, where we'll have Brad and Amanda on our episode talking about the books, which you can purchase year-round on Amazon. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week. Happy Halloween.
Be safe. Happy Halloween.